What is your Tinder horror story? A little backstory: a few years ago I was dating this girl and her father really hated me. Which was a bit odd, as most parents love me, or at least lie about it real well. He was just a huge prick and I always called him on his poop. Anyways, her parents got divorced. We broke up a few months later, etc. etc. Fast forward to around a year later. Me and girl from Tinder were dating for a few months and things were starting to get serious. We are at the point where she wants me to meet her family. Mother, stepfather, little sister. Why not? I have no problems meeting them. Let's do it, I said. She told me how excited her stepdad was to meet me. As it turns out, we both happen to be Kansas City Chiefs fans. Well, duck me if it was not the same asshole father of my ex-girlfriend. I do not know why I found this so funny. The absolute awkwardness of the situation is unfathomable. This guy is going to be your father-in-law someday. No matter who you date, it is destined. They are the real soulmates here. Soulmates. My buddy is not the smartest man. He picked a chick up and drove to a motel. They were walking into the room and she says, "Oh poop. I forgot my purse in the car, do you mind if I go grab it?" He says, "Yeah, that is fine," and tosses her the keys. 5 minutes later he walks outside wondering where she is and his car is gone. For clarification, yes, he got his car back. I think the police found it about a week later. I do not think she was ever caught though. If you are in Baltimore sweeping, do not let her near your keys. AutoZoned. Buddy of mine hit it off with this girl and after a few days, she invited him over to a house party. Sure, he says. What could go wrong? He shows up and is introduced to a few of her friends. All guys. As the night carries on, more and more guys show up and very few girls are actually at the party. After they start talking about how they all know this girl, they find out that she invited them all from Tinder. Every guy was there not to hook up, but to populate this chick's birthday party. That is so very sad, but also kinda clever. Free quality booze and no one would have complained. A gangbang would have been nice, though. Got a Tinder notification on my phone. Realized I do not have Tinder and was holding my girlfriend's phone. Oh poop, did you call her out on it? I let the responses I sent to the matches do the calling out. I made her look like queen of the trailer park. Well played. Tinder date with a famous chef where I was taken to a dive bar, where he promptly started talking about how famous he was. We drank and watched sports. He proceeded to tell me you were cute and this eventually went to I'm going to make you bleed. He then invited one of his friends to come along. I went outside and he came up to kiss me. I was drunk, so I kissed back. Eventually he proceeded to tell me how he was being charged with battering his ex-girlfriend. But he totally did not do it. Eventually when it came time to pay the bill, he lost his wallet. Of course, I get stuck with it. I will pay you back. Needless to say, I never got a payment. Then he leaned up against me. I thought he was trying to kiss me again. But I looked down, and he was peeing on me. In the street. Peeing on me. I swiftly, being too inebriated to drive, went and got myself a hotel room and a hot shower. Never again. I am going to make you bleed. Run. Run and never look back. Before he gets the damn hockey mask out or some poop. Started speaking to this guy on Tinder a few months ago. He seemed alright, but not my normal type. Regardless, we started speaking for a couple of days. I did not realize how stupid I was until now. But I mentioned where I worked. The night I mentioned my workplace, I saw a guy walk past that looked a lot like him. I had not met him in person, so I was not 100%. I forgot about it, and a couple of days later, it was quiet in work but my phone battery was low. I said I did speak to him later before my phone died. Him coming in 10 minutes later with a ducking iPhone charger. Yes, this might have been a nice gesture if you know. I did actually met him face to face before. This was really weird because he said he lived the other side of the city from where I work. I wanted to cut ties straight away, but I thought I did return the charger after I finished work. He said he would be in a bar around the corner. So when I finished I met up with him, gave him his charger and made some excuse to go home. To my horror, I saw on his Instagram that he had taken a smiling selfie earlier in the day with the caption, "I am now a taken man." I did seen him like not even twice. To make it even scarier, for a good few weeks, every time I did finish work I would see him casually walking past on his own, exactly at the time I finished. Really creeped me out for a while. The only Tinder date I went on, the woman told me her goal was to get pregnant in the next few months. I nope right out of there. Showed up to the restaurant, waited about 30 minutes, ordered myself some food and was about to leave when he texted me, "There is a liquor store across the street from the restaurant. Can you pick me up 2 6-packs?" I told him I would not. He says he has decided to play frisbee with his dog instead. Deleted app. Went to liquor store, picked up wine and went home. He texted me for a month or so after to tell me he has just bought tickets to see me dance. I am a retired ballerina. Have not been in anything for a few years. Then he texts me an hour after and tells me how great I was on stage. I never responded. Dating is too confusing. I am all done. He texted me for a month or so after to tell me he has just bought tickets to see me dance. I am a retired ballerina. Have not been in anything for a few years. Then he texts me an hour after and tells me how great I was on stage. He murdered that poor girl. This could not have been asked at a better time. Met a guy on Tinder after ending a 6-year relationship. He was in his last year of PT school and seemed to have his put together and was really cool. I made it extremely clear that I was in no hurry to rush into a relationship and that I wanted to take my time, get to know him better. We ended up dating some months later. Everything was great. I was actually really happy with him and was going to take him home for Christmas. We had been together about 6 months at this point. Last Monday, I got a Facebook message from a random girl. She basically said she matched with my BF on Tinder and found his Facebook account. She noticed that his Facebook noted that he was in a relationship with me. So she messaged me to see if we were in a relationship since they had plans for a date that week. She sent me screenshots of all of their conversations. Bless this little Tinder angel heart for messaging me. Confront BF. Go through phone not like me. Find extremely graphic sexual texts between him and at least 2 other girls besides Tinder girl. BF says he was so insecure and worried that I did not want to be with him that he wanted this false security. Broke up with him. Got drinks with Tinder girl. We are friends now. I should add that he was all about me opening up about myself. He also lived in his parents' basement. Told every girl on Tinder he was a doctor and opened up by asking what hurts and if they wanted a massage. I think the best part was that he was talking to one girl about music and she said she liked Motion City soundtrack. He was like, "Oh, I just saw them a few weeks ago. I bought us tickets and took him." He was missing some minor details. You guys should start a detective agency. That would be best backstory. Maybe we will. She was incredibly sweet. She apologized for being the one to notify me. But she said that her ex cheated on her and all of his friends knew and nobody had the balls to tell her. The week before she said her best friend found out her boyfriend was on there. So she just had to tell me. She was like, "Well, I am already free Tuesday. Obviously. And I live next to a bar if you want to vent." I met her at the bar and I bought her a drink. I was so thankful that she told me. Who knows how long this would have gone on had she not. I would have brought him to my family this week. We decided that if we could redo it, she would have went on the date. But let me know so I could have been at the restaurant too. That would be priceless. Tinder girl and I took a selfie of ourselves flipping off the camera and texted it to X. It was great. He is still trying to get me back. Probably not as bad as some of the others I read on here. But I thought I was really hitting it off with a guy I met on Tinder until a few dates later, when he broke down crying in the middle of a heated maquette session telling me he thought he might be gay. Tinder guy was apparently engaged when we met and while we were dating. Also found out 2 weeks after the fact that he got married. We had still been talking every day. And get that golf clap checked. They have a shop for that. Could get nasty. I started talking to this really sweet guy for about 2 weeks and things were going well. Then I started getting calls from this girl, who he claimed was his crazy roommate that was in love with him and kept trying to get him fired from jobs. Turns out, she wasn't the one lying. She was actually his live-in girlfriend, and they had moved here together from a different state. Apparently he wasn't actually a citizen, and was trying to obtain papers. Thanks, Tinder. Met a girl at her work at like a moment's notice. She was a waitress and there was literally nobody else in the entire place. We talked for a few hours. Then another dude shows up to meet her from Tinder. She would later blog about the experience and describe me as dull and unattractive. She apologized to me the day she posted it. No hard feelings. I just thought it was a crazy story. That was an awful blog post if it makes you feel any better. LOL. Sounds like she is a terrible human. Met girl. She was quite vocal about no hookups. We went out. Got drunk. She used the line, "Want to come back to mine and put your penis in my vagina?" So I did. Just as we started she said, "Oh, I love you. I love you. Do you love me too?" I did not reply. I just thought concentrate. It was a good night. But then she got really demanding and argumentative. It takes me a while to get used to starting to see someone. I like to get to know them a bit. She was talking about kids within a day of meeting me and I was not quite ready for that conversation. Then she got really shitty that I was not as committed as her. Called me all sorts of names and said that I should not be on Tinder if I was not going to take her relationship seriously. It was a whirlwind. It felt like a year's worth of emotion bundled into about 3 days. I deactivated my account and stuck with masturbation. There was this guy. He was a solid 10 in his pictures. He messages me, asks me if I want to meet up for coffee. So I say yes. He messages me and tells me that I have to pick him up. Okay, whatever. I will do it. I pick him up. And we decided to go eat instead. He is super funny and cute, so we hang out some more after dinner. Then he pulls out his phone and proceeds to tell me that he has a son and his baby mama took him to Washington but has no idea what part or anything with him and he has not seen him in months. So he then takes out his phone and tells me to go through a folder on his phone of pictures of his son. Like 300 of them. He sat there and made me look through every single one. And he would tell me the backstory to basically every single video and photo in that folder. I felt so bad. But man, I was happy when he left. That whole date just got so weird after that. He did some more stuff, but those are good stories for another time, LOL. Wow. He has no idea where his kid is and he is still using it to cock-block himself. I needed a day to pass over dinner with my friends. He wore a vest and a newsboy hat. Then introduced himself with a bow and a hat flourish. The night only got worse from there. He refused to eat any of the food because things on the plate were touching it, was ducking soup and would not shut his mouth during the 12 minutes of Seder. When it came time for his train home he purposely missed it so he could stay the night. Laughing nope. After a movie with uncomfortable levels of hover boob, I convinced my friend to come with me to drive him to the nearest train station. During the ride he thought was the best time to tell me he was schizophrenic but did not take medicine because it was the devil. He tried to hold my hand saying that they were small and made him feel like a pedophile. The night ended with him telling me he was going to poop on the subway and write my name in it. There was no second date. Matched with my cousin. That means your cousin swiped right too. Wincest. Inbreeding. Kinda. Went on a date with a girl who had already told her whole family about me before we even met. And she wanted me to meet them in person on the first date. Nope.